After the first video, do you still find yourself wanting to know more about Mega Man? Well, I've got some great news for you. We will pick up right where we left off, starting with Mega Man 2. This is a continuation of McPix. In the last episode, I went over the beginnings of the Mega Man Classic series. Today, I am picking up with the second entry to the Mega Man series. These events take place after the first game and into the second, so there's going to be a little bit of overlap. But as the story starts, this is during a time of peace after Mega Man or Rockman defeated Dr. Wily, and Wily was imprisoned for his crimes. During this time of peace, Roll aided Dr. Light in robotic pet research, and during this time he began working on the prototype for Rush, Mega Man's faithful companion. Eventually, Dr. Light created 3 prototypes, which Mega Man would test during the events of Mega Man 2, combined at a later date to form Rush. Rush actually makes an appearance in Mega Man 3. I will explain the functionality of these prototypes as Mega Man earns them throughout Mega Man 2. So Mega Man 2 takes place 1 year and 2 months after the events of Mega Man 1, but during this time, Dr. Wily creates 8 new robots, and these robots are not industrial like Dr. Light's were. They were built with the functionality of defeating Mega Man. Ironically, despite being created by Dr. Wily, these robots continue their serial numbers after the light numbers. So these robots don the serial number DWN for Dr. Wily number, and the robots created during Mega Man 2 were Dr. Wily's number 9 through 16. As you remember, in the original Mega Man, the Dr. Light numbers went from 0 through 8, but it was during this time that Dr. Wily develops an obsession for the destruction of Mega Man, and you'll see this continue all throughout the classic series, which I think is interesting because Mega Man is usually the one to save Dr. Wily from danger. Starting off with the Dr. Wily numbers, DWN for short, 9, Metal Man. This is the first of Wily's original creations, and he is built specifically for combat. At a quick glance, one may notice that his design is similar to a previous Robot Master. Dr. Wily took some liberations with Cutman's design, and he created Metal Man. Cutman's utensil is on his forehead, and so is Metal Man. Metal Man has a metal saw blade on his forehead, and it's made of the very same Ceratanium alloy. So Metal Man got the short end of the stick because he is the most faulty of Dr. Wily's creation. His armor is lightweight, but it's extremely fragile. One major oversight in his design is that his metal blade is his greatest weakness. In the game, it takes 2 metal blades to kill Metal Man. But I'm going to do something a little different with this series, and I'm going to explain a little of what the robots enjoyed in their spare time. I actually learned a bit doing this video. Metal Man enjoys playing Frisbee, but he hates dogs because, dogs would chase after the Frisbee and interrupt his game. The next Robot Master is DWN-010, or Airman. He is a big, bulky, blue and yellow robot with a large fan embedded in his chest. And despite being the second original creation of Dr. Wily, he was also a prototype of sorts. Airman's design would be used on some of the future Robot Masters. Dr. Wily put Airman's face on his torso instead of making a head. This design was meant to intimidate foes, and as his name suggests, his main weapon is air. He also has a fan on his chest. He is capable of blasting enemies and creating miniature tornadoes with his fan. Airman enjoys windsurfing and Manko, but dislikes fall because of leaves. Coincidentally, his weakness is leaves, and there is a Robot Master whose weapon is leaves. And after defeating Airman, Mega Man acquires item number 2, which is a red jet sled used to traverse horizontal distances. It cannot raise or lower its elevation once started, so it just goes straight for all of eternity. And this is the prototype for Rush Jet. The next Robot Master is DWN-011, or Bubble Man. Bubble Man is a round, mostly green robot with a snorkel like tube along with goggles and black flippers. He has 2 tanks on his back but they are used for his weapon. His weapon is bubble lead. It's a bubble that traverses along the floor because it's so heavy. Since Wily is still relatively new at creating combat robots, Bubble Man had a major defect. Bubble Man cannot walk on land, and he can only move by jumping. Despite this, he's an expert swimmer. He enjoys hot springs, but he hates water pollution, which he shares with another robot master, which we'll get into a future video. The next robot is Wily's pride and joy thus far, and it's DWN-012, or Quickman. Quickman has a black base with yellow and red armor. He is the only robot to match and possibly outspeed Elecman. It makes sense since Wily used Elecman as the template for Quickman. He was created out of an extremely lightweight material which allows him to move at extreme speed, but it also allows him to be blown away by force, something like Airman's weapon. A flaw in his design makes weapons like the Time Stopper stop him completely in his track. The Time Stopper is a weapon created for Flashman, who I will describe later. He's one of the fastest robots in the entire series. The next robot master is DWN-013, or Crashman. He takes the design from two of Dr. Light's robots. He is a combination of Bomb Man and Guts Man, but he's also fast and powerful. His weapon penetrates the surface and then it detonates, but his lack of hands makes tasks difficult. He enjoys destruction, much like Bomb Man and Guts Man. But the next robot, DWN-014, or Flashman, was created with the idea of controlling time. His weapon Time Stopper allows him to stop time for a brief period. He also has a rapid fire buster to take advantage of the Time Stopper. Most of the robots created by Dr. Wily were created with a special chip that would negate the effects of Time Stop, but Quickman was flawed. That was Quickman's only flaw besides the lightweight armor. He enjoys photography and camera. After beating Flashman, Mega Man gets the prototype item number 3, which allows him to scale wall. It changes directions at the top or bottom, or if Mega Man jumps onto the item. This item combined with the next item create the prototype for the Rush Coil. The next robot, DWN-015, or Heat Man, is mostly orange and yellow and is cased in a yellow box to make him look like a Zippo. One of the coolest robot master designs that I've seen. The cap can close for protection. His favorite attack involves him engulfing himself in flames and dashing forward. Heat Man loves barbecue, but he hates water. Coincidentally, his weakness is bubble lead. And once you defeat Heat Man, you receive item number 1, which is the floating platform. It does what it says it does. It's a platform that floats horizontally. But item number 1 and item number 3 combine to make the Rush Coil, which allows Mega Man to jump extreme heights. The next robot, DWN-016, or Woodman, is one of Dr. Wily's favorite creations, and it's because of his design being mostly organic. He was created using the wood from the Hinoki cypress, which is native to central Japan. His body is made mostly of wood with a thin coat of metal for protection. He is resistant to physical blows, but he's vulnerable to fire and cutting weaponry. The leaves he uses are made of ceratanium. He has a very unique design. Woodman enjoys nature and everything in it, but he hates those who harm it. When you defeat all 8 robot masters, Wily flees to his fortress in his UFO once again. So once you arrive at the fortress, there is a boss at the end of each level. At the first stage, you fight Mecha Dragon, which is a giant dragon made mostly of hydrogen, and he uses flames to attack. Initially, the dragon chases Mega Man across a chasm, but Mega Man is able to fight at the end of said chasm. Seeing as the dragon is a hydrogen balloon, his weakness is fire. I mean, if you've heard anything about the Hindenburg. And the next stage, you fight Pico Pico-kun, which ironically is another idea stolen from Dr. Light. Initially, Pico Pico-kun was used as a home security system. He modified the idea to attack Mega Man on sight, and it is the boss of the second stage. Kind of reminds me of a butterfly of sorts. And at the end of the third stage, you fight the Guts Tank, which the name describes exactly what it is. It is a tank in the shape of Gutsman. It's also known as the Guts Dozer. It's a large tank with Gutsman's design. Instead of legs, it uses tank tread. The chest of the Guts Dozer houses Mets. And at the end of the fourth stage, Mega Man fights the Boo Beam Trap. And I use trap instead of boss because that's exactly what it is. It's a trap. It's only weak to the Crash Bomber, so if you run out of Crash Bombs, you have to restart. Periodically, all of the traps shoot at Mega Man. And before you fight Wily in the last level, you fight the Robot Masters again, and I'm assuming that they are copy bots. This is the time where you can test out the Metal Blade on Metal Man, and once you defeat the copy bots, you fight Wily in another Wily machine. This is known as the Wily Machine 2, and it's another two-phase fight with similar mechanic. Once you defeat Wily, the floor explodes, and Wily and Mega Man plummet into a cavern, and the alien travels along a figure-8 pattern, and he's only weak to bubble lead. If you shoot the alien with any other weapon, then it heals him. If you run out of bubble lead, then you have to restart. I think this is the only Mega Man game that does that, but correct me if I'm wrong. Once the alien is defeated, it's revealed to be a hologram, and Mega Man once again takes Wily into custody. As usual, he grovels and he pleads and he begs for forgiveness. And that's the end of Mega Man 2. In the next video, I will describe what happens between the events of Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3. I will see you in the next video.